Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing phase 3, or this quote-unquote sandbox phase of this easing of quarantine in Thailand. A recent article from ThaiVisa.com, article is titled Tourism Reopening, 4 Phases on the Cards, No Quarantine at All from October. And as we'll get into in this, that's a little bit, I think there's going to be some nuance to that notion of no quarantine in October. And we've done another video where we get into that in a little bit more detail, or actually a lot more detail. But long story short, I'll get into that here. Quoting directly, and they are quoting Bangkok Business News in this article, and they're sort of translating, paraphrasing, and thanks very much to the Thai Visa folks for doing that. But quoting directly, again, articles titled Tourism Reopening, 4 Phases on the Cards, No Quarantine at All from October. That's ThaiVisa.com. Quoting directly, BBN, that's Bangkok Business News, said that D-Day for the start of what is known as area quarantine, part of what is now being called open system, will be April 1st. Tourists will still have to quarantine for 7 days from April to September if they have been given 2 doses of vaccine in their home countries. It's 10 days for those not vaccinated. So then we get down here and we get to phase 3. They're talking about phase 3, October to December. So phase 1 is April to May. Phase 2 is June to September. And there is a quarantine throughout all of that. Now, we get down here to phase 3, October to December, is called the quote-unquote sandbox, and will be done from October to December in 7 specified tourism provinces that are mostly by the sea. This could involve 1 day in quarantine with the swab test requirement for tourists who have already been vaccinated twice abroad. Now, again, as I've gotten into in other videos on this, I think the stuff that we're seeing near on the horizon, like phase 1, we've got a pretty good handle on what that's probably going to look like. Bear in mind, all of this is speculation right now. This is yet to be promulgated through the cabinet. We've yet to see anything come out, for example, in the Royal Gazette, or changes to the immigration regulations for that matter, or the emergency decree as it currently is. We don't know exactly what the nuts and bolts of this are going to be. However, with the level of exposure and discussion going around about this, this kind of looks like the infrastructure, if you will, or the roadmap, if you will, of what this kind of ease of restrictions is going to look like. Now, again, we're looking so far out in time, October. I can remember, for example, last year in March and April, when I was saying, oh, October of 2020, we're coming back online, because I was reading stuff like that even from the government sources, and that obviously did not come to pass. Reasonable people can question why, but here we are. The long story short, though, is, I'm hesitant at this point to really try to speculate about the details of quarantining come to October 2021. But for now, it's, phase 1, I think we're pretty clear on. It's going to be this kind of less harsh ASQ, alternative state quarantine. Then phase 2, there's going to be sort of these areas around these facilities that are going to be sealed off, that folks that are in there can kind of wander around. My guess is, and they've noted it a lot, places around beaches. I think they're going to have like places that are on certain areas of beachfront that folks, are going to be kind of isolated or secluded, and you can kind of keep them cordoned off. The long story short of this, though, what's interesting is this sandbox phase. Again, they're saying it's going to be like a 1 day in a hotel and then you're out. Remains to be seen. We will see come October exactly how that pans out. But for now, I hope that's the case. I hope we are quarantine free by October. But for now, tough to tell, tough to say, but we will keep you updated on this channel as the situation evolves.